The Art of Murder is the new thriller from Canadian author Maggie Giles. It's a dark and twisty story set in a small Canadian town about two best friends and deadly secrets. And Maggie joins us this morning. I love that you're a Canadian author writing in a Canadian setting. It was so nice to see.
Thank you. I always really love that my publisher allowed me to explore the Canadian settings a bit more. I think, you know, we find so much that there's a lot of like London settings or New York settings, so I just was really tied to kind of trying to do something in Ontario just because it's something I know really well.
Okay, you live in Collingwood.
I do.
And you don't make a big secret of the fact that even though there's a fictional town, it's pretty close to Collingwood.
Absolutely. I absolutely use landmarks in Collingwood. I drew from the inspiration. I just think it's such an interesting town, and one of the most interesting things I get from readers is they tell me Cedar Plains, which is the place The Art of Murder is set, doesn't seem real. And because it's got these ski hills and these vineyards and these breweries and this waterfront, and I'm like, yeah, that's where I live.
Yeah. Oh, it's real.
It exists.
But does it also have the dark and twisty secrets that so let's, I don't want to give anything away, and I'm afraid if I describe the book, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get you to describe what this story's about.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say it's about two best friends who knew each other in high school and are now navigating their late 20s and the changes that come with growing up, getting married, and committing murder.
Yes, not necessarily in that order.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
And ideally, maybe not all those things.
Yeah, and you've had friends ask you, like, are you okay? Because it is really dark.
It is, and I do have, especially people that have like met me in person or and like don't know me super well, they're like, you're so bubbly. Are you okay? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like this because it all goes in there.
Okay, it's funneled in there then.
Exactly.
Yes, and I couldn't have, like, I mentioned how much I love that you're writing about Canadian things, like, because so many times, you know, things will kind of be sanitized so that it could be set anywhere. But you have mention of Joe Fresh and provincial parks and workers' compensation, and it's like, oh, like I was almost like, oh, I'm so excited to be, because you see yourself, right?
Absolutely, and I think, you know, the thing that was really interesting, especially with writing crime fiction, you see so many crime shows that are based around like US crime or FBI. And so when I started writing these books, I'm taking these inspirations from like Criminal Minds or CSI and like taking that experience. So then I realized, wait, I don't think this is right for Canada and Ontario. So I luckily have some OPP officers that I've been able to ask some questions of, and
I wondered,
they're willing to like talk me through the procedure when I'm like, hey, hypothetical situation. and then that kind of helps me get the real parts of it. And they always say, don't worry, like, people don't do it right. And I was like, I know, but I want to try and do it as right as possible, especially if I have you guys to speak
to help you with that. Yes. And do you find that more writers, more Canadian writers are being encouraged with the whole elbows up and, you know, Canadian pride, more writers are being encouraged to write about Canada? Yeah,
absolutely. I think, you know, it's just been such a wave of support for Canadian authors in general. I'm finding so many more Canadian readers that are just sort of looking to meet sort of more people locally. And it's really fun when they kind of get a local author too, because then they can kind of go to their events and support them, and it feels less mythological, like less of a you know, big magical being. Like, I'm just a regular person who writes about murder.
Yeah, and you have a regular job during the day. You have a day job.
I do.
Yes, and they're not afraid of you or anything.
No, I mean, they don't tell me they are, at least. Yeah.
And you say that you find lots of support from local writers as well. You've got a writers group together.
Absolutely. We have a Toronto area women's author group that is amazing. It's a group of such a large number of Toronto local authors and aspiring authors, so kind of people in every sort of aspect of their journey, from starting their first book to publishing their book to querying their book, wherever they kind of are on the spectrum. And it's just a wealth of knowledge and encouragement and positivity. It's really great.
Okay, and you're going to be with one of your publishing buddies next month at the Toronto launch of The Art of Murder.
Yes, we will be launching The Art of Murder, and my friend Breon Somerville, she will be launching her newest book as well on August 13th at Supermarket Bar in Toronto.
Okay, and the book is available everywhere now.
It is, all across Canada.
Along with your back collection as well. We got to get that out as well.
Absolutely.
The Art of Murder. Maggie, thanks so much for coming in. It was great to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing.
And we'll get your links on Bookstagram as well up on our website at chch.com.